Welcome back, beautiful creatures. It's Cordelia. I know it's been a while. I've had 3 surgeries in the past 7 months, and so that's taken a toll on me. I do not recommend doing that, but I didn't have a choice with a couple of those. My last surgery was January 30th, and I'm still recovering from that, but I will get better. Anyway, today's video is on a topic that no one wants to talk about. It's on perimenopause and menopause, and I'm also going to touch a little bit on PMDD. Now, I'm sure you all know this, but in case you don't, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. And this is not medical advice. I'm sharing my personal life experiences with you surrounding these issues. So in my opinion, there are 2 types of people in the world. Those that have suffered and want you to suffer just like they did, and those who have suffered and who don't want anyone to suffer like they did at all. I'm in that latter camp. I don't want people to suffer. So if me sharing my personal life story with you can help you, save you from suffering like I did, I'm happy about that. I want to help people. I mean, that's really why I'm talking about something that no one wants to talk about, menopause and perimenopause. So to talk about perimenopause and menopause with you, I'm actually going to have to talk about sex, which means that YouTube might end up demonetizing this video or my channel for it. I think it's important to talk about it no matter what. Okay, so I do need to tell you a little bit about PMDD. I was diagnosed with PMDD probably 6 years ago, but I've had it much longer. I would say probably from the time I was around 25 or 30. It just went undiagnosed because I wasn't tracking things. Once I got that initial diagnosis, it took me 6 different gynecologists before I found one that could actually help me address the issue, which was very frustrating. I couldn't find out a lot of information online. Not a lot of people could help me. The only person who could really help me was my therapist. She ended up putting me in touch with a psychiatrist, which is how I initially started to manage my PMDD before I found my great gynecologist. So the psychiatry route for managing PMDD, they put me on SSRIs. I had side effects from them. I had sexual side effects. I couldn't orgasm. I had some side effects that have never gone away. I am heat sensitive. I also I didn't have the problem where it made me a zombie like I know it does some people, but it really bothered my motivation. And then later it started causing me to have some ruminating ideation stuff, which was not great. So I, for me, am no longer willing to take SSRIs. So what is PMDD? PMDD is a severe form of PMS, which is premenstrual syndrome. The main characteristic of PMDD, aside from the physical side effects, is mood swings. And that's because of hormonal imbalances, like your hormones going crazy. So as I mentioned, PMDD is something I've been dealing with for quite a long time. So what is menopause? You start menopause when it has been 1 year since your last period. So that is technically what menopause is defined as. You haven't had a period for 12 months. And menopause can last for 4 to 8 years, but obviously that varies by person with ovaries. So what are the common symptoms of menopause? Menopause has a lot of symptoms. You get hot flashes, night sweats, mood changes, vaginal dryness, decreased libido, a bunch of stuff like that. Oh, and sleep problems, because who doesn't need sleep problems? People always want to know, what age does menopause start? It usually starts in your late 40s to early 50s. The average age for menopause to start in the USA is 51. And you still get pregnant during menopause. You cannot get pregnant on your own during menopause, but you can get pregnant with IVF. Of course, IVF may go away because of some stupid law that passed in Alabama, so who knows? So what are the treatments available for menopause? So hormone replacement therapy, also called HRT, is one of the treatments for menopause. Exercise, lifestyle, and diet changes are all things that can be done to help address menopause. One of the top questions when people hear HRT is, are there any risks associated with hormone replacement therapy? And the answer is yes. You need to talk with your doctor to determine if they are right for you. Some of the risks that I read about, they can increase risks of breast cancer or heart disease or stroke, which is why, again, I'm not a doctor. You need to talk to your doctor about that. Another question surrounding menopause is, how does menopause affect other parts of your health? It can decrease your bone density, so you should be taking vitamin D or calcium chews, but again, talk to your doctor. A very popular question is, does menopause cause weight gain? And the answer is it can. That's why you may need to make lifestyle changes to be able to maintain a healthy weight for you. The thing I wanted to know is, how long do menopause symptoms last? It can last 4 to 8 years. It depends. Every person is unique. That is not the answer I was looking for. Another question is, can menopause affect mental health? And the answer is, of course, yes. If you're having hormonal changes, this can cause mood issues like irritability and stuff. So yeah, that's going to happen. This was a big one. Can women younger than in their 40s go into menopause? And the answer surprised me. The answer is yes. It can be caused by different health issues. The big reason that I saw that some people would go into menopause early was premature ovarian failure. Things like chemo or radiation therapy might cause it, and sometimes autoimmune disorders could also cause it. Now we're going on to what is perimenopause. So perimenopause is the transition from between when you're fertile to when you're in menopause and not fertile. I never hear a single word spoken about perimenopause. It's even more enigmatic than menopause. So when can perimenopause start? It can start as early as your 30s. Much like with menopause, your estrogen and your progesterone levels can fluctuate wildly. Your periods can be longer or shorter. Your sex drive can increase or decrease. Sex can become painful or not. One big thing to know is that yes, you can become pregnant when you're in perimenopause. Okay, so I need to jump back to PMDD for a minute. So really how I helped my therapist, as I mentioned, helped really diagnose me with PMDD because she, I talk with her, I'd say once or twice a month, depends on what's going on, sometimes more, sometimes less. And so she would always track things. Like I would tell her this happened and then this was my period and blah, blah, blah. And she was the one who noticed a pattern and said, I think you have PMDD. You need to talk to a doctor because you're having mood swings basically 2 weeks before you bleed. And so that was really how, that's really what kind of started my journey to getting diagnosed. So the way I manage PMDD, based off of my new gynecologist, is I take a pill called Slind. Slind is a progesterone-only pill. This gives me progesterone and helps to balance me out, and I don't have problems typically from it. On occasion, I will have breakthrough flares. So I end up taking Slind straight through. I don't take any of the sugar pills, and because I end up taking it straight through like that, it definitely has made my period more erratic. It's also made my period lighter, which is awesome. So before I went on Slind, my periods would be 7 to 11 days long, which really sucks. Now they're like usually under 7 days, which is nice. Unfortunately for me, severe stress can still sometimes trigger a PMDD flare, and having as many surgeries as I've had PMDD flares the past 2 months, which have been absolutely miserable. No fun. Like I cry for, 1 to 3 hours straight. It sucks. And over like nothing. All right, so I want to talk about some of the warning signs of perimenopause because I feel like that's going to come up way sooner for most of you than menopause. As we've talked about a little bit before in the video, your menstrual cycle may change. It may be longer, shorter, heavier, lighter. For me, I went from heavier to lighter. You can have hot flashes and night sweats, which will disrupt your sleep. I don't get like the night sweats or the hot flashes exactly, but I have a heat intolerance. And so if I'm outside and it's over 85 or 90 degrees, I start feeling sick in the heat and I can throw up. That sucks. 3 would be difficulties from sleep for any other reason. I do deal with this sometimes and it's really annoying. It's only when my PMDD is flaring, but I do sometimes have like just nights where I just can't sleep. I'll be exhausted. I'll lay there and unable to sleep. 4, mood swings. Self-explanatory. Things that would normally bother you might bother you. 5, this was a big one for me. Vaginal dryness and things being uncomfortable. So I went from sex being awesome, so much fun, to this kind of hurts. I don't understand why this hurts. Let's add more lube. Why isn't the lube working? This still hurts. So that's actually what prompted me to go talk to the doctor and say, hey, this is going on. Am I in menopause? Am I in perimenopause? 6 would be a decreased fertility, which you may or may not care about. In this climate, I don't care if I'm fertile. 7, you may have urinary issues like increased urination or like bladder leakage, something like that. Number 8 would be breast tenderness, self-explanatory, where your boobs just start hurting. This happened to me when on my period too, like my boobs would hurt. Don't really have that problem anymore, which I'm happy about. Number 9 would be weight gain and slower metabolism. Those things can both happen with perimenopause. And the 10th one, and this is the one, another one I think is very important, is that you can have changes in your cholesterol levels, which can lead to problems with like your heart. Again, talk to a doctor about it. It's something I monitor, like I get my blood checked. So if you are someone and you have noticed any of these signs of perimenopause, I recommend that you talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I wanted to let you know the signs because nobody told me the signs to look out for. I just started having shit go wrong and I'm like, I don't understand why I'm in pain. This sucks. I don't understand why I'm crying for hours. This sucks. I thought we had my PMDD managed. For me, my first sign that I might be in perimenopause was the pain during sex. And when I talked to the gynecologist about it, she prescribed me vaginal estrogen. It's really easy. I just put like a 1 gram dose of cream inside me twice a week, problem solved. And I'm very happy about that. Another problem that I noticed personally with PMDD that is brain fog. That's something that a lot of people notice with menopause. I'm unsure because I haven't seen people, in my research, I didn't see anybody mention it with perimenopause, but it could be there as well. But brain fog is a problem. And when I was having problems with my PMDD and experiencing brain fog, I talked to my husband about it, and Dave and I did some internet sleuthing online, and we found this supplement called NMN, and that is what I take for my brain fog. Again, I'm not a doctor. I would talk to your doctor before you take any supplements. But one of the guys that I watch here on YouTube, that Dave and I both watch here on YouTube, is Dr. Brad Stanfield. I believe he's in New Zealand. He's a doctor. He's really cool. He does a lot of videos where he talks about scientific studies, and then he links all of the scientific studies to you. So you can go do that research yourself and then see if you like his conclusions or not. And he had a video about NMN and its benefits, so that's why we bought it and tried it. And yeah, I'm probably going to be taking it for the rest of my life because it solves that issue. And specifically, I take NMN from DoNotAge.org. I would not buy it on Amazon or anywhere that you might get not the real product. I would buy it from a place that is a verified source. So it's probably pretty evident that PMDD and perimenopause do have a lot of overlapping symptoms, and it can be tricky to tell which one is affecting you. Or if you're lucky like me, it could be both. I mean, don't you want to be lucky like me? I haven't had a single doctor or a gynecologist point out to me how PMDD and perimenopause can overlap. So I'm going to share to you some of the symptoms that overlap. So mood swings and hormonal changes. Yup. Depression and anxiety, irritability, sleep disturbances, fatigue, breast tenderness, headaches and migraines, changes in sex drive, vaginal dryness, and pain during sex. So there are 10 things that overlap. So how do you distinguish between PMDD and perimenopause? That's the trick. In my personal experience with severe PMDD, my severe PMDD is cyclical. I will only have symptoms of PMDD if I'm not taking my Slen and not managing it 2 weeks before my menstrual cycle. And so that was how, I mentioned, my therapist was able to track this is PMDD affecting you. Perimenopause, it varies wildly. There's not a set pattern to it. So if you are tracking and you notice a set pattern, based on my personal experience, for me, that was PMDD. I believe knowledge is power, and forewarned is forearmed, which is why I'm sharing my, personal experiences with you on the topic of PMDD and perimenopause and talking about menopause. I hope that this will help you recognize if you're experiencing PMDD or perimenopause or maybe menopause, and nobody has told these things to you like nobody had told me. I personally find that taking my Slind for my progesterone for my PMDD has been great. As I mentioned, the vaginal estrogen cream has been great for me, so I'm very happy about that. Also, the NMN, great stuff for me. Those are the 3 things that I'm taking for the stuff in this video. But I don't want you to feel like you're alone. You're not alone if you're going through any of this. I know it can be scary. I know it can really suck to go through, especially if you struggle like I did to find a gynecologist who could help you. Nobody should have to go through 6 gynecologists before you find one who will listen and actually have a plan of action and be able to help you. And I had been going to women doctors, men doctors, just trying to find someone who could help me, and nobody seemed to care. Well, I guess that's not fair. Let me phrase it. Nobody seemed to feel like they could do anything to help me, so they were just oh, sorry about your luck. Go see a psychiatrist. I'm still trying to learn as much as I can about these topics. It really frustrates me that women's health has been so neglected compared to men's health. There have been so many more studies done specifically on men's health issues versus women. We get the dregs of science is what it feels like sometimes, because there hasn't really been a lot of research done on these areas. So what questions do you have on the topic of PMDD, perimenopause, or menopause? If you have any experiences, tips, or tricks to share, please do so in the comments below, and I will make a follow-up video answering your questions, sharing your experiences, tips or tricks, or anything you want me to share. Please subscribe, like, and share this video to help others who might be suffering from PMDD, perimenopause, and menopause. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.